Beauty founders. An indie beauty brand can cross $1 million in revenue and still not generate meaningful profits. And that's not a failure. It's a strategy issue. Beauty founders. I was recently reviewing a set of P&Ls and something really stood out for me. The average small business runs on a 7 to 10% profit margin. So for a brand generating $1 million in revenue with an 8% profit margin keeps $80,000. Meanwhile, a smaller brand generating $600K with a 25% profit margin keeps $150,000. Less revenue, more cash retained. That's not accounting. That's positioning, structure, and decision quality. Today, I break down why chasing growth breaks businesses, how this actually shows up on your P&L, and why margin-first brands quietly outperform, especially in beauty. Here's the revenue illusion. Revenue makes noise. New SKUs, new launches, new retailers, more spend. It all looks like progress and momentum. But every new dollar of revenue often brings higher ad spend, more customer support, more fulfillment costs. Revenue goes up, but profit barely moves. And growth without margin is just complexity. Inside the P&L, here's what often happens. Rising COGS, rising marketing and CAC, and rising operating expenses without margin expanding. Here's the margin signal. Thin margins don't happen randomly. They're the result of decisions. Pricing set without a solid rationale, too many SKUs, overextended marketing channels, early hires before systems, and saying yes to revenue that doesn't create real leverage. Margin isn't just a number, it's a signal of strategic clarity. On the P&L, this shows up as healthier gross margins, controlled marketing spend, fewer but more profitable SKUs, and cleaner operating expenses. Revenue might grow slower, but profit compounds. There are two operating models, growth first versus margin first. A growth first brand says, scale now, optimize later. Whereas a margin-first brand says, build strength first, then scale. On the P&L, the growth-first brand shows up as expanded costs, chasing expanded revenue. For a margin-first brand, it shows up as controlled expansion. And margin-first brands think differently. They ask, which products are actually making money, which customers are actually worth serving, and which costs create leverage. Here's where margin actually comes from, and this is the part some founders miss. It's not about cutting costs blindly. Instead, margin is created intentionally from 4 strategic levers, and you can literally see them on your P&L. When price doesn't reflect value, gross margin erodes immediately. When you have a higher price, you have a stronger gross margin and you have more room to breathe. As a caveat, a brand culture rooted in discounts is expensive. In the near term, it's exciting because it moves units and creates customer excitement. But in the long term, it erodes positioning, brand equity, and it's just simply not sustainable. And it also conditions your audience behavior to shop only during discounts, which is very difficult to reverse. Number 2, your signature offer design. Fully bespoke, endless customization kills margin, whereas clear signature packages and hero offers protect it. When you have cleaner offers, you have predictable revenue and lower operating drag. Number 3, cost discipline. Every cost should create capability or efficiency. If it only creates comfort, then it drags. And cost should create leverage. Number 4, every additional SKU, channel, or audience increases operational load, but focus sharpens inventory turns, focus improves CAC efficiency, and focus sharpens retention, and margin thrives in constraint. If this resonated, you'll also likely find value in my 3-part masterclass series where I provide a framework for predictable indie beauty brand growth. They all connect to this margin-first way of thinking. Here's the reframe. Revenue is activity, but profit is retained strength. A business isn't durable because it's large. It's durable because it gets to keep money and can reinvest from a position of control. This is the lens I use when working with indie beauty founders, not just how to grow, but how to grow without destabilizing the business underneath it. If you want to pressure test where your margin is actually coming from, pricing, products, or structure, this is the kind of strategic work I do. If interested in exploring further, email me at info@ateliersky.com with discovery call in the subject line, and we'll first establish if there's a strong fit before taking the next steps. I share similar content every week for indie beauty founders and support teams seeking to scale smarter and faster. I invite you to subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you and see you in the next.